All right, so kicking it off, most of half-inch impact sockets from Icon sold out. They did have some 3/8 drive in shallow and in deep. The 3/8 drive was a 13-piece kit. The half-inch drive was a 14-piece kit. Looks like they only went up to 19, which is acceptable for 3/8 drive, but I have found that the snap-on ones that I have goes up to, I believe it's 24, which has been helpful from time to time. Now the half-inch, it goes all up to 27, and that can be helpful, but it starts at 17. Sometimes you're going to want 15, maybe even 14. Looking at their wrenches, we talked about the wrenches, a little bit disappointed in the open end portion, but the ratcheting portion still holds up. The box end, I don't know. I haven't used a bare box end without it being a ratcheting portion, so I don't know how that holds up. But I was a little bit disappointed in the soft metal as far as the open end face was concerned. I don't know if they'd fix that issue or not based on the past reviews. They do have a jumbo set, which I think is going to be far better and superior to the Pittsburgh lineup. But again, how superior is it? Is it really as superior as something like Snap-on or even the Made in Taiwan stuff you can get from Matco? I'm going to say no. Look, a far better option is going to be gear wrench in my opinion. The crow's feet kind of had my interest a little bit because of the sizes, but again, for the price that you're paying for those, I've seen better things by Sunex and much better deals by Sunex as well as other companies like Gear Wrench. Now, looking at their ratchets here, and we'll talk about this in another video clip, looks like they brought back the 3/8 drive lineup. They did have an issue. Looks like they might have fixed it, giving you that comfort grip, giving you that flex head. Still not seeing a locking flex head option, which I hope they do in the near future, but still not seeing a locking flex head portion, so that's the reason why I decided to go with the Matco, because I want a locking flex head from time to time. Sometimes I can deal without the locking portion. Sometimes it's just nice to have that extra added benefit, but it does come at a cost. That Matco ratchet cost me about 180 bucks. That's a huge jump from the 50 to 60 bucks that you can expect to find them in Icon with. So use that, food for thought. They also had different breaker bars in here. We talked about the breaker bars of it being the same quality as the Pittsburgh Pro, and I'll show you a picture later where it looks like they got rid of the 3/8 drive in the Pittsburgh Pro. I think they still have the half-inch, but they're forcing you to almost buy the ones from Icon because they're doing away with some of the stuff in the Pittsburgh lineup, so that way Icon is the more competitive market for you to pick up. They did have half-inch 3/8 in chrome as well as their torque wrenches. I did see the new Doyle screwdriver sets with the striking end cap. Did not see the Icon screwdrivers. Not sure when those are going to hit shelves. I know they said around first quarter. We're in the first quarter now. They have not made an appearance on the catalog nor on the shelf. But it was kind of interesting that they had some for electricians. They also had some for mechanics. And so you can pick your flavor here. The Quins weren't so bad either. Well, let's go take a look at some of the toolboxes. Now, I was kind of disappointed that they still don't have an Icon toolbox on display at My Harbor Freight. And you can see here that their display is not as good as it once was. They're still showing you those service carts. They're still showing you some of the Yukon carts. Now, I think they are bringing back the Yukon. I'll put a picture down here. And they are bringing it back with the drawers again because that was the biggest complaint. Did not see the MiG 205. Not sure what they're doing with that in the Vulcan lineup. All right. So I just picked up this Icon swivel ratchet for comparison reasons. Yes, I did pay for it. You can see I have my receipt. But it looks like it's going to be a close comparison, but I'm curious just to see how close it is in comparison to the Snap-on one that I already own. That being said, I haven't had really too many issues with the Snap-on one. I think every year or two, the gears wear out and it starts to slip. I'm not sure how this is going to stack up size-wise, so we're just going to go home and find out. But before I do, I got to run to the shop and grab my Snap-on one. All right, so we're back here at the shop. I'm grabbing up my little Snap-on. You can see I've got some wear behind it a little bit, but I've had this now for years, and I've had it re-geared twice to give you an idea. One year, actually, I had JK Canvas do it for me, and then the other year when we actually had a Snap-on rep, they did it once for me. I've probably had this now for about 5 years in total, but it's by far been one of my favorite 1/4-inch ratchets. You'll see here in the toolbox, and we'll just take a quick peek before we take off here. I have different styles of ratchets for different stuff. Of course, you guys know about the new Matco one that I picked up, the 40th year anniversary. I used the hell out of this Snap-on one. This is one of the Icon flex heads. I did like the comfort grip one. I have had 0 issues with this. This was one of those ones that I was beta testing. I still haven't had any issues with. Of course, I have the Icon 3/8 flex head that they also sent me. This is part of the recall that I was told that there was an issue. I haven't had any issues with the gearing or the teeth. So this is still the exact same one. I did not take it back into the store at all. Inside here, I've got some other ratchets just for different stuff because you never know what you're going to be into. I believe this is a Duralast. And I've got a couple of different snap-on ones in here. And then this is a Craftsman one that I had picked up a while back. It's also a swivel head. We might take that to compare. Fixed head Icon. So actually, let me grab that just so that way we can. I know that this is not a comfort grip, but it is a swivel ratchet to say the least. And we can get a side-by-side comparison of all three different ratchets. All right, guys, so before I head back to the house and we discuss the differences between the Snap-on Comfort Grip and the Icon, and we'll even do like a little side-by-side with this Craftsman one too, I wanted to talk about one thing in particular. So you guys know that a few months back, Icon reached out to me. They gave me some stuff. I tried it out. There was an issue. There was a recall on the 3/8 drive ratchet specifically, and I've been into Harbor Freight, I think, twice in the last 2.5 months, and I can tell you that for the longest time, those 3/8 drive ratchet shelves were bare. There was no ratchets available. I think you could only pick them up in 1/4 inch and in 1/2 inch drive. Now, that being said, the shelves are now full, and we're gonna take a little video clip around here. We're gonna take a look and see what they got, but I can tell you, it looks like they might have fixed whatever issue that they possibly had at that time frame. It had something to do with gearing in the teeth, but it looks like they might have fixed it because now the shelves are fully stocked. I wanna put a picture down here in the corner because I also mentioned in a stream or two ago that the breaker bar that Icon first came out with, both in 1/2 inch and in 3/8 drive, they said was zero difference between that and the Pittsburgh Pro lineup one. Now, looking at the shelf of the Pittsburgh Pro, you'll see that they still have the 1/2 inch one. I don't recall if they had one in 3/8 drive. I want to say that they did, but it looks like their fix for that was to basically make more breaker bars for Icon and do away with 1 or 2 of the breaker bar styles that you had in the Pittsburgh Pro lineup, basically only giving you one option to buy the Icon and not getting those Pittsburgh Pro ones for 20 bucks or 17 bucks. So that's a little sad to see because you're kind of putting us in a tough spot to want to get the cheaper end breaker bar. So now you're putting it in a higher category and there really was no differences. So I still believe they need to reduce that price from $35 down to about the $20 range, since there really was no differences in metal or comfort grip. So that's just my 2 cents. So I'm gonna get ready to head on out of here. We're gonna go back to the house. We're gonna take a look at the Snap-on side by side to the Icon, and then I'll tell you about some of the things that I like and don't like about the Craftsman, just to kind of toss it in there towards the end.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Justin again, as always. Thanks for watching my channel. Welcome back. We're back in the garage. It is Sunday, Monday right around the corner. Not only are we going to compare Snap-on to Icon side by side, which I'm sure you guys have already made up your mind and opinion, but if you haven't, you might want to listen to this. And then we're going to actually answer the question, in my opinion, is it worth money to invest into the Icon tool lineup? Let's go ahead and dig right into it. First things up, you can see there's a pretty close side-by-side comparison. The lengths are about the same. I would compare the Icon more to like a gear wrench as far as the handle goes, the straightness, the smoothness, and the size overall. I will also tell you that the Snap-on Comfort Grip is a little bit thicker. It does have an indentation here for your index finger and thumb, which makes it kind of nice. It doesn't slip up and get onto the metal. If I was to use the Icon, which I've used a gear wrench similar version, your finger kind of wraps around the metal portion of this, not making it the most comfortable grip in the entire world, right? So, ergo, comfort grip, right? So what's so comfortable about it depends on you and what it is that you're looking for. I can tell you that the universal joint is about the same as you can expect from the Snap-on. I can tell you that the mechanism up here where you would switch it from on to off is a bit more raised on the Icon in comparison to the Snap-on being a little bit more recessed. This can be a bad thing because if you back yourself up into a corner, it makes it extremely difficult for you to manipulate that selection switch, whereas with the Icon, you have a little bit easier of a time. Even if you have to take a pocket flathead to push it over, you'll be able to do so much more easier with the Icon than you can the Snap-on. As far as the seal head design, okay, so on the Icon, it's got a little Allen key here on the back side of the head. Snap-on, I think it has a little internal retainer clip here, or it might be pressed in. I've only had to have this ratchet re-geared twice in the last 5 years of use. I haven't used the Icon yet, so I'm actually willing to put this to the test and just see how much I like it. The Icon coming in at 90 tooth technology, the Snap-on that I have, 72 tooth technology. Is there a real difference in gearing so far? I haven't been able to tell as far as manipulating the actual mechanism itself. It seems to be about the same exact fine tooth quality that you can expect from a high-end ratchet. Now, Icon didn't have any trouble with their 1/4 inch ratchets. They did have trouble with the
3/8 drive, which looks like they might have actually fixed and procured. The head design is about 5 to 10% thicker on the Icon than it is the Snap-on. But if we bring in our little Craftsman one here just to do a comparison, the Craftsman is about 5, maybe even 10% thicker than the Icon itself. Raised paneling, even still on the Craftsman, you have 4 different little finger areas here for you to manipulate the switch. I don't care for the square handle, and even if you were to buy this in a comfort grip option, I could tell you that that comfort grip option is also in a square handle design. Is it worth it to spend your hard-earned money on Icon tools? Let's talk about that real briefly, and I'll let you guys answer it down in the comments. In my own personal and professional opinion, I did receive some tools for free from Icon to put through the test and ringer. These sockets had premature wearing. That premature wearing has not really increased too dramatically much over the last couple of months of using them. That being said, I was a little bit disappointed in how soft the metal was. The open end wrench, as I explained previously in this earlier clip of the video, the open end wrench is also made of a softer metal, so it doesn't really grab and bite down well enough before the actual mouth expands and splays out. So a little bit disappointed in that. The gearing and the mechanisms for the ratchet wrenches have held up. I don't have the fixed box end on any of the wrenches, so I can't tell you how that holds up or how the fitment is. I can tell you that the fitment is perfect on the ratchets, and I enjoy the ratchet wrenches as they are. I haven't had any problems with my ratchets that I received from Icon, and those are the ones that fell under the actual recall itself. So that being said, I'm actually quite impressed that I haven't had any issues with them. Now, is it actually worth you spending your hard-earned money on Icon? I will say this. I think for sockets, you can get a much better quality product for around the same price if you were to spend your money on gear wrench than Icon. I don't think that Snap-on is worth the amount of money that they charge for their tools. Ergo, if you're looking for a decent quality tool at a reasonable price, not cheap, but not expensive, I would urge you to consider gear wrench. Now, that being said, I'm also not a huge Tekton fan, or Tecton, okay? But I will tell you that I believe even their quality would be better than Icon, but not as good as, let's say, Snap-on. How is Tecton in comparison to gear wrench? I think I would have to have both tools side by side to compare over a period of time just to see how I feel about them. Now, the impact sockets that I received from Client Graphics have been holding up, and I have thoroughly enjoyed using them, but I have not actually used their ratchets or their chrome sockets, so I cannot give an opinion about it. I will tell you that I'm still not planning on going out of my way to buy their product at this point. I'm not telling you guys that that's not a worthwhile product in buying, because I think that with what it is that I've seen from Icon so far, if you were looking for a cheaper set, I would even hesitate or urge you to take a stronger look at Tekton, and those people that have channels that have done Tekton reviews, it might be worthwhile in you doing some more research on it, because they have done a lot of changes over the years, and they do appear to be a good quality product. Now, again, I don't own hardly anything that's Tekton, but I can tell you that it does seem like they have the better quality in comparison to Icon. So I'll leave you with this. I think the pricing in certain areas of Icon needs to change. I think they need to drop it down for some of the tools. I think they need to drop their toolbox prices down a little bit more for what it is that you actually get. As far as the actual quality is concerned, I would say it's better than Pittsburgh, but it's not quite up to par with what it is that I expected when I initially got them. Their ratchets have held up, ergo I bought one today. I wouldn't have used my hard-earned money to buy a Icon ratchet to use in the field if I didn't believe in this product. I think that the Icon ratchets are legit, and I think that you should actually give them a shot. That's all I'm saying about the ratchet part. As far as their screwdrivers and sockets, I think there are better choices out there for you. As far as their ratchet wrenches or their combination wrenches, again, I think there are better products out there for you. That's all I got for this video. Look, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. You didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down. Share if you want to share. Let me know if you think Icon is worth it. That's all I got. Cheers and deuces.